All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol SENS, Sensonics Holdings Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I do want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I have a ticker symbol you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to add it to your watch list. Now, this is a ticker symbol that I've talked about already twice in the last 2 weeks. It's already 2x since we've talked about it, and it's already almost 10x since it's starting to run back in November. I wish I would have found it earlier, but I'm here to share it with you guys since I found out about it, and I started to see some type of momentum and consolidation periods that were giving confirmation. So stay tuned till the end. I don't want any single investor or viewer to miss this out, because this is a sticker symbol that has a lot of potential going into the year. So here we are with Sensonics. I haven't talked about it since the beginning of February, almost a week now, because so many different ticker symbols to talk about. But here I am to go ahead and do an update. It's been running since the 4th of last week, and here we are seeing it go ahead and break through newer highs. So when you look at this chart, there's a lot of growth going on here. There's a lot of room going on here for this one, and especially the sector that this is in, the potential is there. So let's zoom on in and see the 50-day moving average. It's 363. Anything above it, we're in bullish territory. Anything below it, we're in bearish territory. Now, our support level here is 382. If that gets broken through, this could be on its way down to newer lows, and we need to watch carefully how it's reacting between 382 and the 50-day moving average, and if the bulls are trying to reappear, or could the bears be on their way to tearing this one down fairly fast, getting into bearish territory. But right now, it's holding itself up at 396. Now, our resistance level is right here at 407. That's the first point that needs to be broken through and turn into a support so that the bulls can work their way up to newer highs and new resistance levels, pulling further away from the 50-day moving average. But most importantly, for the next coming days and weeks, the highest point that needs to be broken through and reached is 425. This is a very significant resistance level going into the next coming weeks and days. As always, if you guys found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Most importantly, before we go ahead and jump into everything that the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys in the next part of this video, I don't want you guys to miss it. You definitely want to add it to your watch list. The bulls definitely want to break through this point up here to reach newer highs. I do want to emphasize that if you're still watching. And for those of you that have stayed, stay tuned, because the next ticker symbol, you definitely want to have this on your radar. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is a reiteration of the previous stock graphs and also where the stock was and where it's at now. So I think this is the second time I talk about this one in less than a month. And I really want every single investor and viewer to be aware of this one, especially the new coming investors and subscribers. I don't want you guys to miss this one. And for every single subscriber that missed it in the previous videos, if you're having the chance to watch it now, I really want you guys to be aware of this company and do your due diligence and do your research and further digging to understand this ticker symbol and the potential moving forward. So the ticker symbol is CLNE, right? So let's go ahead and pick it up here. Let's see if it pops up. Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Now, in less than a month, it has actually risen, right? From about $10 all the way up to highs here of almost $19. That's almost 100% gain. But let's just go ahead and say it from $10, right? Forget about the $10.45. We talked about it before that. We talked about it right here at $10.998. So $10 to $18.70, that's 87% gain. Okay, and there's so much more room still for this stock. This stock has been growing exponentially over time. I know that when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, there's going to be a point where this is going to drop. Well, we went through one of the massive drops right here after it took off, where I was talking about it. This was the first time I went ahead and mentioned it, January 22nd. And I said, okay, we might see it cool off and go a little bit lower. We want to look for some consolidation. and then it can start to hit newer highs. Well, it took off after that, soon after, and it hit 12, came back down to 10, and a lot of investors already saw 12, and they said, okay, 12 is possible. So now we need to get to 12, and we need to break through 12. Well, that certainly happened. It brought itself right back up, slightly above it, brought itself back down to 12, and now it took off to 18. So the question is, could this go ahead and consolidate up here? Could we see this pull back somewhere in the middle of this? That's totally possible and healthy for the way the chart has been acting to this point. I want every single investor to be aware of all these consolidation periods and runs up. These are very healthy signs of a growing stock, okay? So it's clearly showing that. Now you have to do your due diligence and research, because now we're talking about it again at its highest point. We've talked about it at one of its highest points here when it was at 10, and it had recently hit 12, 11 and some change. So it was still showing signs that there could be some room, and analysis ratings were also looking pretty good. So now we've hit new highs. So analysis ratings need to be reiterated and upgraded. And then we also need to see for consolidation or a pullback, but obviously not coming back down to 12, somewhere in the middle. And if it does come back to 12, may it consolidate in 12, and then from there on out, hit newer highs and new resistance levels for this stock to continue this exponential growth. But the potential here going into the year and the coming years is phenomenal, and there's so much room here for this to continue. But from January 22nd till now, 87% growth is pretty phenomenal and interesting to me. So I wanted to go ahead and ask those of you that have found out about this since the first time I talked about it to this point, how have you felt about the graph? Did you add this to your watch list? Have you kept it on your radar? Did you add it to your watch list but disregarded it? All right, I want to ask these questions to you guys. All the viewers coming across this for the first time, I would encourage you to go ahead and do your due diligence and research. And just by looking at the graph, how does it make you feel? Do you see that this can continue to run? Do you see a pullback and consolidation? But the way it's been acting, do you think that this can repeat itself, right? But onto newer highs, like beyond this. So like if we were able to copy and paste this, but starting off at 18, can you see this type of distance and growth getting attached here beyond the next coming months and also year? So I wanted to ask that question to you guys, because that's what you really need to think about when you look at a graph, right? What is it acting like before, and could it repeat that same process moving forward to newer highs and new resistance levels? Obviously, the volatility of the stock market is always going to exist. There's been up and downs throughout this whole process, but if it can continue doing that behavior, there's room here for this to continue to probably 2x from where it is now, because we've almost 2x from where we talked about it in just weeks, and it's actually gone ahead in 9x, right? Almost 10x from way down here, these lows in November. So very interesting stuff. I wanted to ask that to all you guys that are watching, every single investor and viewer. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.